All right, everybody. Another real quick one. Again, apologies for the manner in which I'm filming this, but I've been watching CNN predominantly because I've watched their decline over. I've been watching CNN since I was a kid. I was always a news junkie, and in the early '80s, I can remember when they were actually an actual news network, and watching their descent into just pure liberal propaganda has just been really amazing to watch and sad. But this whole Ferguson issue has really just brought to the forefront just how completely lost they've become as a news network and how illegitimate they've become. They have been in spin mode now on this whole thing ever since this story started. And now that the riots have broke out and the evidence is out there exonerating the police officer, they just cannot accept this, and they're trying to spin this. There's a clip that came on this morning where they had some kind of voice analyst who watched the interview with Darren Wilson when he had that interview with George Stephanopoulos, and was trying to deconstruct and going into all this minutia about why he's lying. I mean, it was so absurd and comical. I'm still trying to find that clip. If anyone knows where to find it, let me know. Anyway, here's a quick one, and this is with the attorney for I believe the Brown family. And just listen to this. Listen to this crap.
All of this and more with one of the Brown family attorneys, Daryl Parks. Mr. Parks, once again, thanks very much for joining us. When the officer, Darren Wilson, says if Michael Brown had been white, he would have done exactly the same thing, do you believe him?
I really don't, Wolf. When you use terms like demon and Hulk Hogan to describe Michael Brown, a person who's deceased now, then obviously it starts to give us some light as to how he viewed Michael. He didn't see him as a person. And so...
Okay, I'm going to stop him right there. First off, Hulk Hogan is a person. Maybe this guy didn't know that. And the reason that the officer used those terms, he's describing the visceral nature of the assault and how strong Mike Brown was, given his size and in the manner in which he attacked the officer. So, again, this guy's trying to racialize the whole thing, but let's let him continue.
That's a very, very big problem for me. Why I just can't believe it.
Well, you believe that Michael Brown was profiled? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm not saying he was profiled, but I think that this officer could have used other means to subdue Michael. For example, one of the things that I just heard for the first time was a piece that you played where he talked about how close Michael was to him and that he saw his face. Well, one of the bullets that killed Michael, and the officer says he believed the shot killed him, was at the very top of Michael's head and came out around his eye. That means that the officer had to have been over him to some degree. Now that...
Okay, this is just incredible. Okay, first off, this idea that the officer... This is not the first time I've heard this from these racialists. If you're a police officer and someone goes for your gun and you are in a struggle to keep that gun in your possession and not allow it to fall into the hands of your attacker, are you really going to go for your pepper spray or your nightstick or a taser? Hell no. You're going to fight for your gun. This is just incredible, the stupidity that comes out of these people. Of course you're going to fight for the gun. That's the great decider, okay? So, and then this idea that the gunshot on the top of Mike Brown's head is entirely consistent, not with somebody kneeling and raising their hands in surrender, because all that was already discounted in the eyewitness testimony. It's all bullshit. When you're just as the officer explained in his testimony, and as many eyewitnesses corroborated, Mike Brown was in a full charge with his arms outstretched like a football player. Have you anyone watch football here? You ever see how people make tackles? They lower their head and they go in for the tackle. They go in for the midsection. So your head's going to be down. And if you shoot at that individual, that bullet is probably going to hit them on the top of the head. So, man, the stupidity here. I think that's the end of it. Let's see.
That means that if this officer believed that he needed to subdue Michael, he could have used other means to subdue Michael and failed to do so. If Michael's head's down, his body's down, and the officer's over him, he could have taken him down to the ground and arrested him if that's what he wanted to do. He did not have to use the level of force that he used given the situation.
All right, Mr. Parks, I want you to...
Okay, I mean, that's all I'm going to post for now. I mean, apparently this interview goes for a little bit longer. But again, CNN is in cahoots with all these racialists and these attorneys and all these Mike Brown supporters. I've been watching this now for 2 days straight and following it quite closely for the last couple of months, however long this has been, I think since August. And they are in full spin mode. It's so unbelievably shameless. Why can't you just report the news, let people make their own decisions? And I'm going to post, if you look in the description section of this video, I'm going to post an article that just came up from the AP. Now, AP used to be a pretty straight news network. They've even started to lean left, but they can't, they can't spin some of the inescapable realities of this whole thing, and the facts are out there. So I'm going to post a link which talks about and I really encourage you to read it, about a lot of the eyewitness testimony that came in that was in support of Mike Brown. How many people lied? Now, some of it may just be because of the angle of which someone witnessed the incident. A lot of people heard it secondhand and reported it. But read this article and you'll find out how much BS came out. And this is why the guy walked, because the people who were trying to make the officer look like he murdered this kid, most of them were just flat out lying, or they had their own biases which really skewed their perspective on the entire thing. So I'll post that. So thanks for watching.